Hey everybody, it's Dana Polk Jr. from the Semen Retention and NoFap channel. If you're looking for how to practice monk mode while on semen retention, then you're in the right place. I'm about to reveal some easy ways to practice monk mode while on semen retention without having the feeling that you're losing out on life. I understand that going monk mode can be very shocking to your normal way of life, but don't worry, because today I'm going to share with you 8 ways that you can practice monk mode while on semen retention. Number 1, what is monk mode? First off, in order to practice monk mode, you need to know what it is. I'll give you 2 definitions, a more modern one and a more traditional one. So they're pretty much the same thing though. Monk mode is the deliberate elimination or scaling back of social interactions, dating, unhealthy habits, and time-wasting activities with the purpose of focusing solely on a self-development goal. Another definition is the word monk derives from the Greek word monachos, which means alone. A monk is a person who voluntarily decides to isolate himself from mainstream society and embrace an aesthetic mode of being. Asceticism is a lifestyle characterized by abstinence from worldly pleasures and the pursuit of spiritual goals. It is a time of embracing self-control and balance. It is a practice of asceticism. Asceticism is a severe discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. So knowing this definition alone can have you start your practice, because everyone has different worldly desires and many different ways to pursue their spiritual goals. So each one can create their own monk mode based on how they function. Number 2, pick a length of time. So in the same way you will pick a length of time to retain your semen and not fat, you should pick a time to go monk mode. Unless, of course, your desire is to take a certain vows as a monk. If so, have at it. And I wish you much luck on your journey. For the rest of us, this is a reset per se, a way to bring us back to our senses so we can interact with society from a better, more healthy place internally. And this is not to say that this can be a way of life. Monk mode is simply focusing on the development of yourself above all. So even when that time is up, the programming of healthy habits is still running in the background. So the length of time you choose will depend on you. This could be 7 days, it could be 30 days, it could be several months to a year. It all depends on your goals. So I've seen monk modes in terms of hours, and what I'm going to present to you is a few different time limits that you can work with and choose what's best for you. This is all pretty much going to depend on your goals. So we can start from the smallest and work to the largest. So the smallest is an hourly monk mode. This is when you allocate 1 or more hours a day to this monk mode, and this could be seen as deep work in a way, as a session. But this deep work practice over a length of time could add up to some compound interest. The next is monk mode for a week, or a 7-day monk mode, or even just monk mode for a weekend. So this is where you go monk for a week, or maybe just on the weekends. And it's if you're an extroverted person, this works great for you because you can still get your fill of social interaction at the same time. It's also good if one of your goals is working on communication, because you're not completely off the grid and you'll have that time to do so. The next is monk for a season. So some seasons are better for monk mode for some than for others. So for example, the winter time can be a great time to go into monk mode for some, because we tend to not go out as much anyways. So it would be easier to do because of the lack of social interaction. That's for some. But for others, this may be the time where they are really into the holidays and they seek lots of social interaction. So maybe the springtime, after everything calms down, may be better for them. So you can pick a season and then go back into society when you're done, metaphorically speaking. Because we're not necessarily talking about going off the grid. This is a modern form of going into monk mode. So you can be a monk intermittently, which I think may be the best way, because it's goal-based, meaning you have a specific target or specific goal. So for a while you and then you take your foot off the gas after you've achieved that goal, and then you go back to hitting it hard again, intermittently, depending on the goals. So it's like working and taking mini vacations throughout that time. So this allows you to rest easy when you know that you just went balls to the wall achieving a big goal. So finally, there's being a monk for good, or permanently, basically just being a monk. And like I mentioned before, for some of us, going monk mode forever is an option and is a worthy goal to pursue. However, for most of us, this is not a desire, and it's simply just a time for us to reset or accomplish a specific goal. So there are plenty of places you can go in the world if you do choose to take this road, and I would just do some research and then go for it if that's your decision. So number 3 is you want to choose your style and intensity. So intensity and style works on 2 levels. You have useless social interactions and you have time wasting activities. So if the fastest way to get from one point to another is a straight line, a useless social interaction and time wasting activities, they take you away from that line. Then to the degree that you can remove or limit both of those in your life will determine how fast you reach a destination. So if you're operating on a low intensity, you could start by just removing small things like hanging out with people who provide the useless social interaction that we talk about, or just getting rid of time wasting activities or limiting them altogether. You know, for example, activities like maybe getting high for the sake of getting high, or maybe watching X-rated videos if that was a big time waster for you. If you want to operate at the highest intensity, then you will pretty much remove everything that is not a purpose-related activity. And then in addition to that, the activities that are non-purpose based activities, they act as support to assist you in achieving your goal. So support activities, if they're not your goal, could be things like exercise, could be things like meditation. However, you want to be strategic with this. You want to do what you can handle. You don't want to do so much that you don't even enjoy the journey, because this is what it's all about. It's about enjoying the journey. So you need to adjust your level of intensity so that it's comfortable, but not so comfortable that you don't stretch yourself, and not too uncomfortable that your mind goes into flight mode and you just throw it away altogether. And so the key here is to increase your intensity little by little. So number 4, your monk mode needs a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And this is important, because the purpose of monk mode is to reach a destination and to enjoy the journey all along the way. So you need to decide what that destination is for you. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you may really want to ask yourself if you're going into monk mode to hide from something or to not deal with something, because using monk mode to escape from reality is not actually realistic, and it won't resolve the issues that you're dealing with. So before you go into monk mode, you want to choose a purpose. This can be a project, it can be a state of mind, it can be a skill, it can be your confidence level, it can be all these things all together. So no matter your purpose, you need it before you start. In addition, make sure it's measurable. Also, self-development should be a way of life, not necessarily just a monk mode thing, although this will make it easier and help you achieve that goal faster. Number 5, you need a plan. So a good way to go into this is knowing beforehand what's going to be going on, what things are going to be eliminated, what social interactions are we going to avoid. Answering these questions is especially important if you're dealing with addictions, because you must be willing to completely cut yourself off from these activities unless they are healthy and a part of your plan to decompress, which is something that we'll talk about a little bit later. Another thing is to make sure that we're cutting out things that are a waste of energy, and not cutting out things because we don't like them. Although we want this to be an enjoyable experience, if our joy for what may seem like joy is tied to unhealthy activities, then we got to cut them out. For example, you may not enjoy not smoking cigarettes because of the withdrawal symptoms you may experience, but you know they're not good for you. So yes, they feel good, but you don't need them, so they can go. However, if you have work, however, you need to work that out for yourself, get it done, and you'll thank yourself later. So the next thing you need to do is decide what's going out and what's coming in, and then replace those negative activities with positive activities. All right. So number 6, exercise. And this is a big one. If what you're focusing on, your goal, doesn't require a lot of movement, for example, like sitting at a desk or working at a computer, so it's imperative that you include some sort of exercise routine throughout your week. Use the same rules from the planning that we talked about before to apply here. Decide a goal, put a time on it, make it measurable, and adjust the level of intensity to fit your style. Exercise will also improve your ability to get to your overall goal with more efficiency and vigor. And on top of all of that, make sure you're making rest a priority, because your body does its healing and it's growing while you sleep. So if you're skipping out on rest for the sake of your overall goal, you may actually be being less productive. Which leads me to my next point, number 7, make time to relax. So no matter the level of intensity of your monk mode, you should create rewards for yourself and give yourself time to relax and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So this is especially true if you have a high intensity monk mode, because you'll need to let off some steam to keep yourself level-headed. Balance in all things here is the key. This decompression is not monk mode. It is actually a break from it, and a well-deserved break at that. So you'll want to refer to these breaks as goal-hitting rewards. Treat them as such. If you're not hitting your daily, weekly, monthly goals, don't reward yourself. With that being said, it's also important, this is why it's important to set your goals to your level of intensity. So if you find yourself not hitting your goals, you may want to lower the intensity to make sure you're hitting them consistently. Okay. And finally, number 8, just know that monk mode works. When you're focused on a goal with the exclusion of everything else, you're bound to reach your goal more efficiently and effectively. Know your why and get started. And do as many monk mode sessions as you need to in order to achieve your goals. So if you're interested in discovering more about monk mode, semen retention, and NoFap, then be sure to check out my playlist about these topics. I'll put the link in the description. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos helping you retain and not fat, and more. So check out this playlist of my top 10 videos of semen retention, no fat practices, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.